Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about another coin that most people think of as ordinary pocket change, but in reality can be worth an incredible amount of money, the 1984 Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, it looks like any other nickel with Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. But as you'll soon discover, the 1984 nickel hides some remarkable secrets that make it a coin worth searching for. There are examples of this year that have sold for thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, and in certain unique cases, even amounts pushing into the hundreds of thousands or millions depending on condition and errors. The Jefferson Nickel series is one of the most widely collected in U.S. coinage, and when you put rarity, condition rarity, and dramatic mint errors together, the result is a coin that collectors fight over at auction and pay unbelievable prices to own. That's exactly the case with the 1984 Jefferson Nickel. Let's start with the basics. In 1984, the United States Mint struck Jefferson nickels at two facilities, Philadelphia with no mint mark and Denver with the D mint mark. Between the two mints, hundreds of millions of coins were produced. That means to the average person, these coins are still everywhere, and most are only worth face value. But that high mintage hides the truth, because while millions were produced, very few survive in pristine condition, especially with the sharp strikes and full steps on Monticello that collectors demand. In circulated grades, these coins are common and spendable, but in top mint state grades with full steps, they become condition rarities. A coin that is common in worn condition suddenly transforms into a rare prize when it's in flawless mint state with every step visible. The concept of full steps is crucial to understanding why Jefferson nickels from any year, and particularly the 1984 issue, can be worth serious money. On the reverse of the coin, Monticello has a set of steps at its base. Because of weak striking pressure and wear, those steps are usually incomplete or mushy. Only coins struck with precision and preserved without wear will display 5 or 6 sharp, uninterrupted steps. Collectors recognize these coins as full steps examples, and the grading services like PCGS and NGC will designate them as such. A 1984 nickel with full steps in MS66 or MS67 is a true condition rarity, and that's why auction records for these coins are so strong. For example, a 1984 Jefferson Nickel graded MS67 full steps can bring thousands of dollars. The price jumps dramatically between MS66 and MS67, and if a coin were ever certified in MS68 with full steps, it could potentially set records reaching well into the 5 or even 6-figure range. When you factor in registry set competition, where collectors strive to assemble the finest possible graded sets, the demand for that single best coin can become intense. Registry collectors will pay whatever it takes to secure the top coin, and that's why a nickel you could pull from a roll today might someday be worth tens of thousands or even millions if it proves to be the finest known example. But condition alone isn't the only story for the 1984 nickel. Mint errors are another factor that make this coin extremely collectible. The mint is a mechanical operation, and in 1984 plenty of mistakes slipped through. Coins exist with off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, and depending on how far off-center the strike is and whether the date is visible, these errors can sell for hundreds or thousands. Double strikes, where the coin was struck more than once and the designs overlap, are also spectacular and highly sought after. Clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing because the blank was cut incorrectly, also command strong premiums. Then there are die cracks, die clashes, and even the possibility of double dies, where parts of the design such as the date or the inscriptions show doubling from a misaligned hubbing process. A major double die 1984 nickel in gem mint state would be a discovery that could reach 6 figures easily and might even push into the $1 million category if unique. Another aspect to remember about the 1984 Jefferson Nickel is its place in numismatic history. By the mid-1980s, coin collecting had gained enormous popularity, but the Jefferson Nickel series was still considered a challenge because full steps examples were so difficult to find. The mint's striking quality was inconsistent, and most collectors had to search through rolls and rolls just to find 1 or 2 examples with sharp detail. As a result, high-grade full steps nickels from this era are scarce and prized. When you add to that scarcity the fact that many coins have been lost or damaged over the decades, you start to see why the few survivors in pristine condition can bring so much money today. Auction history proves the point. Coins graded MS-67 full steps from the 1980s, including 1984, have brought incredible prices at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers. Some have sold for over $10,000 or more, depending on appeal and competition. And while those numbers are already remarkable, the potential for even higher values is always there. If a coin were to be discovered in an unprecedented grade or with a dramatic error, the bidding wars among registry collectors could push it well beyond previous records. That's how seemingly ordinary coins make the leap into million-dollar territory. It's also worth noting the psychology of collectors. Jefferson Nickels are an affordable series to collect for beginners, but the advanced collectors who pursue top registry sets are often wealthy and competitive. They want the very best, and when only one or two coins exist in the top grade, those coins become trophies. A trophy coin commands a trophy price. It's not unusual to see two determined bidders drive the price of a coin to levels that seem outrageous to outsiders. That's why a 5-cent piece can suddenly be worth as much as a luxury car, a house, or even more. The 1984 Jefferson Nickel has that kind of potential. Now imagine the thrill of finding one yourself. You're searching through a bankroll of nickels or going through an old jar of change in the closet, and you spot a 1984. At first it looks normal, but then you look closer. The steps on Monticello are crisp and complete. The surfaces are flawless, with no scratches or marks. You send it to PCGS or NGC for grading, and it comes back MS-67 full steps. That coin, pulled from change for 5 cents, could be worth thousands or tens of thousands. If it happened to be an error coin as well, the value could be even higher. That's the dream of coin collecting. And that's why people keep searching that SO the next time you come across a 1984 Jefferson Nickel. Don't spend it without a second look. Examine it carefully. Check for the D mint mark or no mint mark. Look closely at the steps on Monticello with a magnifier. Search for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or other errors. Because you never know when an ordinary-looking nickel might turn out to be a rare treasure worth a life-changing amount of money. Coins like these prove that history and value can hide in the smallest places, and the 1984 Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that collectors dream of finding. That's why this coin is worth paying attention to. The combination of rarity and high grade, the importance of full steps, the potential for dramatic mint errors, and the competitive drive of collectors all add up to one conclusion. The 1984 Jefferson Nickel is a coin worth money.